years ago, and I can't even remember now how many years ago, I was invited with a friend to a friend of mine's parish, not a Catholic parish, it was a Christian parish, to attend services with them. And frankly, it was an amazing service. The pastor gave a brilliant homily, beautiful homily, complete with lots of Bible references. And they had a magnificent choir. I mean, it was comparable to a choir concert itself. I mean, it was great. And we were walking out, and I turned to my friend, and I said, "So, what did you think?" And she replied, "Well, it was great." She said, "But did you notice the suit he was wearing?" I go, "No, not really. Why?" She said, "That's a $2,000 suit." I went, "Okay, I didn't notice that." And as we were walking through the parking lot, there was a space, big sign that says pastor's parking. And sitting in the pastor's parking was a brand new Mercedes SL. And we were both standing there looking at it. She turned to me and said, "Well, if that's poverty, I wonder what chastity looks like." And she made a really good point, you know. We hear Jesus today saying, don't take a bunch of extra stuff with you. Go into these towns and pray. I mean, imagine walking into a town unannounced, you know, and say, "Hi, we're here to present the good news of the Lord." I mean, the number of people and say, "I'm going to stay at your house." Of course, in those days, greeting visitors was different than the way we greet visitors today. It was customary to, sometimes feed visitors, particularly if it was a Jewish town and they knew them and they were fellow Jews. But that had to be amazing, you know. But I'm listening to Father Ron Rolheiser, on my trip back and forth. I don't listen to music. I listen to lectures on my way. And he was talking about this idea of how our world is so introverted these days. We're all turned into ourselves. And he mentioned that if you look at the cross, Jesus' arms are wide open. He's defenseless. He's welcoming in that respect too. His arms are wide open. And he said, as we enter into the world, you know, so many of the things we do we're all turned into ourselves. It's about, what do I do for me? Do I have the phones? Do I have all of those things? And that we operate in this tiny self, this little self, that the world is all about me and my phone. But if we look at what he calls metanoia, you know, opening out to the world, that's the image of Christ on the cross. Arms outspread, arms open, defenseless. And that's what he sends his disciples out to do, to basically enter defenseless, to be a minimalist, to come in only with what you barely need and to preach the word of the gospel. And that way, the focus isn't on the $2,000 suit. The focus isn't on the Mercedes in the parking lot. The focus isn't on how nice the parish looks or how nice the people look or any of that. The focus is on the Word of God. My brothers and sisters, that's what we're called to do today. To be focused on the Word of God. To keep, as a friend of mine always is fond of saying, to keep our eye on the prize. To keep our eyes on our own salvation. To keep our eyes on Christ, who was on the cross welcoming us with open arms.